Hey guys, um, this is kind of an impromptu little live stream. I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest. Had a lot on my mind lately, and yeah, so I just wanted to discuss it publicly and kind of get my point of view out there, whether it means anything to you or not. I want to start this off by saying, guys, that I started off in the knife community. I don't know, around 3 years ago. Like most of you did, I stumbled across Love Them Knives. Um, you know, and from there, I discovered Mr. Jared Neve. And when I even first had a thought of starting a YouTube channel, I'll just, I mean, I'm 51 years old. I'm not embarrassed to admit I wanted to do what Jared Neve was doing. I wanted to have a channel like Jared Neve's. I never, uh, I never imagined that I would be as big as Jared, but he was kind of the recipe that I wanted to follow. I never wanted to be a community watchdog. I never wanted to be an asshole. Um, that's those of you who have met me in public. I don't think I am an asshole. I have an assholish sense of humor sometimes. I'll accept that, but I'm not a bad guy. I'm not an asshole. I'm not out to ruin people's reputations. Um, However, some of it just kind of fell into my lap. You know, I think it probably started with I'll just call him out by name by Mr. Tim Morgan, Monster Racing 38, Pucks for Fun, Knives 101, Sharp Thoughts, whatever you want to call him. Um, you know, I befriended Tim. That's how all that got started. I thought he was a nice guy, just like all y'all did. When I realized what he was doing, what a lot of people don't know is I spent months in conversation begging him to stop, trying to show him the right way to do things. Begging him, to stop what he was doing before the community dogpiled on him. And when he refused to stop, I had to call him out. That has led to, I don't want to say that I feel like it's my responsibility, but guys, I can't overlook dishonesty. I can't overlook scams. I can't overlook people just outright lying to people that I care about. And there's been some backlash from it. I was in Grumpy Grunts live yesterday, and I know a lot of you guys get sick of hearing about it, but I brought up heat treats and whatnot, and some of the people in the comment. Now, Grumpy and I had a decent conversation, but some of the people in the comment section even commented, this guy really likes to stir the pot. That's not the case. Um, I just feel like as a knife reviewer, if that's even what you want to call me, because I don't really know what I am at this point, but I feel like it's somewhat I'm morally bound to tell you guys the truth, and that's why when I said I wanted to be a channel like Neve's Knives is because um, guys, Jared does more Chinese knife reviews than he does American knife reviews because there simply are more of them. However, I have always felt like he kept a very healthy balance in trying to promote USA made stuff, and he kept a healthy balance as far as being honest about things. Um, you'll understand why I'm making this video in a minute, but some of you have reached out to me. Apparently, some people are a little upset that I'm not a huge fan of some other channels in the community, um, and I want to clear that up. I don't have anything against these guys personally. I just feel like if you're gonna flat out lie to people, and when I say that, it's because I've been following you for 3 years. I've been listening to everything you have to say, and I don't forget much. So when you're just flat out lying to your viewers because you are somehow connected to a particular knife brand, whether it's affiliate links or or just that they give you free shit to give away or keep or whatever, I just feel like you have to at least be honest, and I always feel like Jared has been that. Guys, I idolize the fact that Metal Complex can have as big a channel as he does and just choose not to get involved. He just chooses not to be involved in drama, and that pisses some people off. But it is a healthier way to run your channel because you're not going to catch as much of the backlash. Now he does catch some backlash for not getting involved, but I seem to and I know I put myself in that place by getting involved in knife community drama. Whether it was the Medford T-shirts or the out and out dishonesty from Hoback, or the way Rick Hinder handled the situation with Brian at Transparent Knives. The only problem with that, guys, is that when you get a little bit involved and you say something, people make assumptions about how you feel about knife companies or certain people, and they kind of blow it out of proportion, and you end up being the bad guy. I never set out to be the bad guy. I don't want to be the bad guy. I just can't sit back and listen to influencers, if that's what you want to call them, be dishonest with people that I know that I care about. It pisses me off. And back to the Grumpy Grunt thing. The only point I was trying to get across during his live was, I want to be very clear about this. If you advertise a knife as having a super steel, it is my opinion and my feelings that if you put that knife out there and you tell people it's got an M390 blade, and then you turn around and you half-ass heat treat it so that it performs no better than 14C, in my opinion, that's dishonest. Because your selling point on that knife is that you used the best steel available. You look at Tucson's S90V, it's garbage. It's no better than AUS 8. But people pay more for a particular model because it has the S90V. That's dishonest. I want you guys to know that. If you know that and you make the decision to purchase it anyway, that's completely up to you. I'm not going to give you shit about it. I'm not going to make fun of you. I just want you to have that knowledge before you purchase it. And some people have taken that as me just being an asshole or me wanting to stir shit. No, I want you to know the truth because I want to know the truth before I purchase something. I don't feel like it's fair. To me, it's kind of it's like false advertising to me. If you sold me a car with a turbocharged V8 and it does 0 to 60 in 14 seconds, I'm going to be pissed because I bought that because it was a turbocharged V8. When it doesn't perform like that, I feel like I've been lied to. So when you sell me a steel that is supposed to do something and it doesn't, you've lied to me. And for any influencers out there that watch this, when you promote a knife, or a knife company that is doing that, you too are being dishonest. You're being dishonest with your viewers. Now, if you don't have that knowledge, that's fine. If you're the kind of guy that turns the camera on and takes a knife out of the box and gives your opinion on how it looks and how it feels in hand or how it makes you feel or whatever, that's fine. But when you go as far as to defend something that has been proven to be not true, that's lying, guys. It's a lie, and I'm sick of it. I don't care whose feelings it hurts. I've asked questions in live streams and been shut down and completely lied to, as well as everybody else in the live stream being lied to. I'm sick of it. I don't care for it. I just choose not to follow those channels anymore. you know, uh, what brought this up was, today I was watching uh, Cedric and Ada on his video about, his junk knife drawer, the knives that don't make it into the house. Um, and one of them was the CJRB RIA. Um, I've experienced lot failure with the CJRB RIA. Cedric's experienced lot failure with the CJRB RIA. When I brought it up, I had 2 or 3 other people tell me that they tested theirs, and by tapping the blade on its hand, it fell shut. There's a problem with that knife, and it's very evident. It's been documented by very many people. So if you pretend that it doesn't exist, or tell your viewers that it doesn't exist, then you're being dishonest. Um, you know, I see Armor Knives is in here, guys. I got to test one of Armor's. I don't want to say test. I'm sorry. I got to check out one of Armor Knives squirrels. I love that knife. It's it it's very down the middle with that thing. I've discovered, as far as people either love it or hate it. And in my review, I said, is this knife uh, perfectly refined? And I said, no, it's not. Now, um, as a YouTube channel, I would be I would have been smarter and benefit more by saying that knife is perfect in every way, in the hopes that, now, sorry, I forget his name, but in the hopes that the gentleman that owns Armor Knives would send me more shit, because that's how YouTube works. That's how building a channel works. I got to get more shit. Whether it's free or I have to ship it back. I shipped his knife back. I still love that knife. Is it perfectly refined? No, it's not. But it's a guy building a knife in his shop. It's not. I don't expect it to be. Um, my point is, guys, is that when you're watching these people, and you can even just read their thumbnails, guys. If every day they're posting a video with a thumbnail talking about, you know, the greatest fucking pocket knife ever made. If they're doing that every day with every knife that they get, they're probably a fucking liar, because it's not possible. It's just not. You guys know I'm a huge Spyderco fanboy. I find shit wrong with my Spydercos quite often. I've had a couple of Spydercos I couldn't get to center. I don't care, because that's not important to me. What's important to me is how well a knife cuts. Every now and then, I do get into something like the Armor Squirrel or a Chris Reeves Sabenza when I want something fancy, I want something flashy, and maybe that maybe edge retention is not going to be at the top of my list. Maybe that's not going to be the most important thing. But I feel like when we're promoting cutting tools, the fact that it cuts, or how well it cuts, or how long it cuts, that is important to me. It doesn't have to be important to you. I just want you guys to know that I'm not trying to be an asshole when I jump into a live, or when I'm talking about these kind of things. I just want everybody to have the facts before they purchase something and find out the hard way. That's it. Um, you know, if you make a decision after that, that's completely up to you. Do I believe we could all get by just fine with a Rat 1 and All-Sate? Absolutely, we could. If you have any knowledge of sharpening, you could live the rest of your life with an All-Sate Rat 1 in your pocket and do just fine. But that's not what this has turned into. What this has turned into, for most of us, is a hobby / addiction, whatever you want to call it. But where we have to have the next greatest thing just so that we can jump on a live that night and say, hey guys, I got a Kaiser Towser S or a Kaiser Towser K, because it's all we talked about in last week's live. But my thing is I'm not going to do as much content as everybody else does. I'm not going to do as many reviews, simply because I don't feel like I need that many knives in my life. I've got more than enough now. Um, I don't do a whole lot of videos on them because, um, you guys don't care. Not that many people want to see a knife review about a bitch made Contigo anymore because it's not available. It's old. Um, you know, it's not that interesting, so people aren't going to watch it. So I don't film it. But I understand how the community works, and I understand how YouTube works, and I understand people wanting to have successful channels. I just don't understand everything that you check out from the people who benefit you financially is perfect. Um, I don't get it. Without even having to prove it, I'm immediately going to assume that you're not being honest because it's just not possible for them all to be perfect. It's just not. Um, and as far as the heat treat thing goes, like I said, guys, we got into a long conversation about, well, we can bitch about it all we want, but who wants, are you willing to pay the price? Guys, the price is not the issue. It is not. Um, I'm not saying that anybody's being dishonest by saying that. I'm just saying that they're misinformed. When you find out what these things actually cost, um, I'm not going to dig too deep into that because it's almost hurtful when you find out what it actually costs to produce a pocket knife. When you find out that your riots are right at a lot of times even under $100 for cost of production, and you're paying 450. If that bothers you, fine. If it don't, fine. But my point is, in the conversation we had yesterday, was that you can bitch all you want about heat treats, but are you willing to pay the price? The price is negligible, guys. It honestly is. I don't want to share any particular maker's secrets or their cost, but upon finding out what it costs to have MagnaCut heat treated at 63 to 64 by Peters per blade, um, I'm just going to use a round number. Let's say it's $5 a blade. Well, what did it cost to have it done at 61? Probably $3 or $4. So if it's $1 more, $2 more, um, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not treat it to its maximum potential so that we all get what we think we're paying for? Um, there's. I'm sorry, BBR. I have been kind of ignoring the chat because I didn't want, um, you know, I didn't want to get too far off the rails. Um, I just, yeah. What I'm getting at is, guys, is it doesn't cost that much more. Um, and 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 you guys answer me in the comments. Would you be willing to pay $5 more for 64 HRC MagnaCut than you would 61? Um, you know, it's a no brainer in my opinion. The fact that companies like Case, I got to talk to the Case representative at Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and he was super excited about that new Case Marilla or whatever it is. It's in MagnaCut and it's a flipper frame lock. Well, first of all, the first one he handed me would not open. No matter how fast, how hard I flicked it, it would come about halfway. He took that out of my hand and put it under the counter and handed me another one. That one opened. It opened poorly. It took a lot of force, to get that flick going to get that thing to fly out, but it opened. And then I asked him what they were heat treating the MagnaCut at, and he very proudly announced that they were heat treated at 59 to 60. And I very politely handed him the knife back. I didn't say anything. I just walked off. But my point is, I think everybody in here would have loved to seen Case put out a modern flipper, even if the action wasn't that great. But if they had just put it out at a decent heat treat, we would have all been super excited. I would have bought one. I would have paid $160 for a knife with a shet detent if it had a really good heat treat. But that's what, guys, it doesn't cost that much more. It's not a matter of hundreds of dollars. Knife Nut 69, you're right. I'll pay $50 more. It doesn't cost them $50 more. It costs them a couple of dollars extra for the heat treat. And then if you figure in the wear and tear on their tooling, yeah, there's going to be a few dollars added to that. If you want to mark that up and profit from the difference and charge me $50 more, I'll pay it. But that is why I'm stuck on Spyderco. You know, I just I appreciate the fact that when they market a cutting tool and the selling point is the blade steel, because the 15V Manix 2 sold out. Guys, nearly everybody bought that knife probably already owns a Manix 2. Nobody needed that. But it sold out because of the steel. So if we had all bought that knife and then find out that it was heat treated at 60 HRC and it didn't perform any better than BD1N, how mad would you be? I would be madder than hell. But if it's okay, if they can use that as their advertisement for selling a knife that everybody already has or that's been on the market for years and years, there's nothing new about it. I don't have a problem with that. But when other companies are using a steel type to promote selling their knife and it doesn't perform like it's supposed to, that is dishonesty. That is a lie, and they will continue to do it as long as we put up with it. I feel horrible for people when I see them in the chat bragging about, they got this new Kaiser in 10V, and they're super excited about it, and you can tell they're proud of it because they're talking about it in the chat. And I don't want to say anything. I'm like, man, your 10V is garbage. Just stick with what you can do. You know what I mean? If 14C is what you can do and what you can do well, then just make everything in 14C. I was watching a Metal Complex video earlier today on the new, I think it was this new tactile, look like an Access Lock style tactile that's coming out in Magna Cut at 63 to 64 HRC. And with the micarta handle, it's $250. That's guys, that proves it right there. It can be done at a decent price. Would I rather it be $150? Sure, I would. But that company has to make money. They have employees. They have costs. They have liabilities. All that stuff. I've got an American Blade Works man right over here in 63.8, and I know it is because Brian at Transparent Knives tested it. I don't trust anybody any more than I do Brian. That was $200. Many of you guys have heard that story. When I purchased the knife, it was in 20 CV. There was a failure with the steel or with the heat treat, something, I don't know. It tested at 52. Absolute garbage. However, I reached out to Michael Martin. He took care of it. Not only did he replace my blade, he replaced it with something way better, and he learned from it. He learned that it's a waste of his time to heat treat steel. When he found out what it was going to cost for Peters to do it and do it right, that actually opened up more time for him to make more knives. So, the fact that we can't bitch about heat treats because we can't afford it and it's too expensive, that's not true. I'm not saying anybody was dishonest about that. They just didn't have the facts. And for all the guys that were in the comments that were, saying that, I just like to stir the pot or considered me an asshole. Well, I apologize if you feel that way. It's not at all what I meant. Bear to Doom, brother, let me tell you something. I know I said I've been ignoring chat, but I've been thinking about you all day, man. And I want to tell you why. It's not because you're extremely sexy. It's because of your videos that you've released in the past couple of days on a District 9 knife and the other one was a Midnight Cat. I can't remember what it was, but I've been thinking about those videos all day because it's what I miss about knife collecting. You didn't mention what those blades were heat treated at, and I don't care. I wouldn't care when I bought it if it was at 52, because you bought those knives for the pure childlike enjoyment you got when you took them out of the box, and I miss that. I'm fine with that, but what I'm not fine with is if had you made that video and bragged about how great the steel was without actually knowing, or with knowing the facts and ignoring them and lying, then I would have had an issue. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because, man, I miss that aspect of knife collecting. I miss the pure fun. Um, hats off to you, man, for still being able to enjoy it that way. I hope I can find that again someday. So yeah, but guys, I don't want to drag this on too long. I just wanted to make a point without trying to point out any particular channel or content creator. Some of you know that I have issue with some as of recently, but I only feel that way because if they're not being honest with their viewers and people who look up to them, I have a problem with that. I'm not gonna make a hugely successful YouTube channel. I know that. However, the other thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna be dishonest. I'm not gonna lie to you about anything. Brother McMick from Armor Knives, I'd love to check out some of your new stuff, dude. And I know there was never any doubt in my mind that your quality was only going to increase because that's how it's supposed to work. You guys are sick of hearing me talk about Michael Martin and American Blade Works, but the reason I've been screaming it from the roof is because he had an issue. He fixed it. His quality has gone up, and everybody needs to know that. Exactly, Steve. The cost difference is minimal. So there's no excuse. There's just not. Um, you know. Anyway, and to be honest, guys, Steve did kind of start me down this path. He's the one that he's one of the guys that convinced me that there's more to a knife than the action and how pretty it is and the whole getting what you're paying for aspect. That's all I want for you guys. I just want you guys to get what you paid for. If you're paying for M390, then it fucking better well be at least at 62, 63 HRC, and it better perform. If not, then you were ripped off. And if I promoted that and I influenced you to buy it, then I'm a fucking liar. So that's all I got. You guys know I appreciate any amount of time y'all spend with me. If I've hurt anybody's feelings, I apologize, I guess, but whatever. Love you guys. See you later.